Hey guys, your tech admin here. I've still got my dad's security camera server here, and that's because I'm going to use it as a platform to do some drive cloning instead of having to use my own machine. Over here, I've got a Vivotech NR8201 NVR, which is used to store security footage from security cameras. And the reason this is important is because inside of it, there is a 2 terabyte Western Digital hard drive. This came with the NVR, and I'm going to be swapping it out because 2 terabytes is way too much storage for the amount of cameras that are going to be eventually hooked up to this. So I'm actually going to take this 2 terabyte drive out and swap it with the 500 gigabyte drive that's in my desktop. And that's going to give me some more storage space for some of my files, as well as putting a more adequately sized hard drive in this NVR, because like I said, 2 terabytes is way too much for the quality of cameras that I have. They're standard definition cameras, and there's only going to be 3 of them connected because the 4th connector on this NVR is burned out anyway. So 2 terabytes was a bit overkill. So I'm going to use this machine to do that, help me do that swap. I'm going to use it to clone the drive over, and then I'll just pop the other drive back in. Won't really worry about setting it up and configuring it because this guy won't be installed for quite a while. It's just been sitting around, and yeah, and then I'll get the other hard drive put back in my machine. We'll be good to go. Alright, so now I got to go ahead and get this drive out of its bracket here, and it's just held in by 4 screws in the back there. So I'll go ahead and undo those and get the drive out. Alright, so this should just slip off of here. There we go. So there's the drive. Now I've got to go get the hard drive out of my computer. Alright, here we're at my desk. Let me go ahead and shut my computer down. Go. Here it is down here. Oh, it's screaming at me. I got a bit of a mess going on down here at the moment. Alright, so the computer is shut down. Pull it out a bit. There we go. All my lovely badges. See if I can get... It's a bit dark down here, so the video quality is probably going to be a little grainy. Yeah, it is. Maybe I should turn the light on. That might help a little bit. Anyway, drive A, as you can see by this label here, A, that should be, that's my boot drive, that's my boot SSD there. Drive B, which is just drive here, I believe is the one that I want. I'm going to go ahead and pull the SATA cable out and the power. And then, because of the way I had this hooked up, this is one power cable here that goes through all 3 drives. So in order to get the drive out, I'm going to have to pull the power out of the SSD as well. So I can fold it out of the way like that. And then I can just get in here. These are quick release drive bays, so I can just squeeze that and it pulls right out. And there you go, 500 gig. These quick release rails that hold the drive inside my machine actually are just held in by the tension, so they just come right off. That's a really nice mounting system, and it's, you know, completely toolless. I just wish that these guys were a little more durable because they're just plastic. I'm afraid they may eventually break, and I won't be able to get any more very easily. Alright, here's our 2 drives side by side. This is a Western Digital WD Caviar Blue. It's 500 gig with a 16 megabit is it megabit or megabyte for hard drives? I think it's megabyte, 16 megabyte cache. And over here we have a Western Digital WD Green. I think the green means it's more energy efficient. It's got a leaf on it. And this is a 64 megabyte cache, so it's a bit bigger cache. I believe the read-write speed is the same on both of them, or around the same. This drive was from 2014, March 8th, 2014. I don't know if this one has a date on it. Yep, this one's from 2009, so this drive's a bit older as well. But let's go ahead and get them plugged into the cloning slave. That's what I'm going to call it. Alright, so all I'm going to do is I'm not going to actually take the time to remove these drives. I'm just going to unplug them, like this, and then plug in new drives. So we're going to go, I'm going to put the source drive in the first slot here. I have to set this in here. There we go. And I'll put this drive in the second slot. I'm just going to stack it on top. They won't be in here very long, so it doesn't really matter. They just have to be plugged in. Is that the right way around? There we go. Alright, now we are ready to start the cloning process. I've got my flash drive here with Clonezilla on it. So go ahead and plug that into the back. And we are ready to boot into Clonezilla. I'll hit F11 on the keyboard, get to the boot menu. Alright, and we're going to boot from the alright, we are in Clonezilla. We're going to go with the English language because that's the only one I really know. We're not going to mess with the key map. We're going to start Clonezilla. We're going to do device, and I just always pick beginner. We're going to do disk to local disk. Alright, and the source is going to be the 500 gig drive, and then the 2000 gigabyte drive is going to be the target. So that. I'll let it auto check and prepare the drives. And here we go. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Warning, warning, warning. Data's going to be lost. Yes, we can continue. And there it goes. Alright, so the drive has been successfully cloned, and we're going to power off the machine. There we go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and power off. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 terabyte drive, I'm going to put it in my computer, and I'm going to adjust the partition size so that I can take advantage of the entire drive. And then I'm going to take the old data drive and I'm going to format it and put it back in the, or put it into the NVR, and that'll be it. We'll be good to go. The only real annoying thing about these quick release drive rails is because, like I mentioned earlier, they don't screw in. You've got to kind of hold them in place while you slide the drive in, and sometimes it can be a little annoying to get done. But in this case, since I space each of my drives out by 1 bay, it's actually fairly easy. So now I've got that slid back in, I'll just go ahead and plug in the SATA cable, plug in the power for this drive, and the power back into my SSD, which is a bit of a tight fit, to be honest. I don't know how I got that in there before. There we go. Okay, got that in there, and now we are ready to replace the side cover. Exciting stuff here. There we go. Man, that side cover whooped me up a little bit. I had a little trouble getting that back on. Let's see here. Trying to get these case screws put back in. Thumb screws, or whatever you want to call them. Alright. We are ready to slide this guy back into position in its corner and power it on. Slide all that crap back over. All that really is this my controller with my USB adapter, my Xbox controller, and a laptop charger. So really all of that can be cleaned up. It's just, I use a lot of that stuff pretty often, so I just leave it there in a pile. Alright, we are booting back up, and I'll see you in a moment. Alright, so here's what's going on. I got the drive in the machine. Here it is in disk management, and it's showing as a 500 gig partition. But what's not showing up is the rest of the unallocated disk space, which is a bit odd, because I've been able to do this before, just pop in a drive and then expand the partition size to fill up the rest of the unallocated space. But for some reason, in this particular instance, the unallocated space just isn't showing up. I don't know if it was something funny that Clonezilla did when it cloned the drive, or what, but what I'm going to do is I've got Gparted here that I'm downloading, and Gparted is a Linux utility that's it's basically a partition manager. So what I'm going to do is download that, and actually there's the download there starting. I'm going to go ahead and download that and put it on a flash drive and boot from it and see if I can get the partition size changed to fill up the rest of the drive that way. I'll report back here in a minute. If you ever, for any reason, have to put a bootable ISO image or a bootable CD image onto a flash drive and make a bootable flash drive out of it, I cannot recommend Rufus enough. It is a little utility that I found online that will do pretty much any bootable ISO you have. It will be able to make a bootable USB out of it. It's really, really handy. As you can see here, I've got a flash drive in there, and I've got my Gparted Live ISO selected, and I'm just going to hit start, and it's going to be a warning, and then away it goes, and it's going to write that to the flash drive and make it bootable. It handles it all automatically, no messing around. It works with Linux, it works with Windows, it probably works with other things. I haven't found an ISO image yet that I couldn't make a bootable flash drive out of with this utility, so I may make a full video about this at some point, but it's a really, really handy utility to have in your arsenal. Okay, so I had a bit of trouble getting Gparted to boot on my machine. It would always hang up, so I'm back over here at this machine. I've got the drive pulled back out of my machine and plugged up. Here we are in Gparted, and you can see all of the unallocated space here, 1.36 terabytes. So I'm going to select my partition here, I'm going to resize it, and grab the little arrow here, and I'm going to drag it all the way out so we have 0 preceding and 0 following, and then I'm going to resize that. And now we just hit apply, and let it do its thing. And there we go, everything has completed successfully. While I've got Gparted running, I'm going to go ahead and pop in my old drive and go ahead and format it as well. Alright, here is the old 500 gig drive in Gparted, and I'm just going to go ahead and delete the partitions, and then I'm going to create a new partition. I'm just going to make it I'll just do NTFS. It doesn't matter, it's going to get formatted again when it goes in the NVR, but I just want to make sure that my my files are off of it. And we'll make it the maximum size, add that, and apply. This should format it and create the new partition, or at least it'll create a new partition over the old partition table, which is good enough. There's nothing really on there that I need to keep safe. I just wanted to make sure the drive was blank, so to speak. So that looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, and we'll take a look at the new drive in my machine. Before we take a look at that, I'm just going to go ahead and put the old drive, which I've already mounted into the bracket, back into the NVR. Slide that in like that, and then lock it into place, and that is ready to go. Alright, and there is a look at the new drive in my machine. You can see 1.52 terabytes out of 1.81 terabytes free. So I would say in the end the swap was a success and everything is working as it should. So thanks for watching, and until next time guys, take it easy.